Before we begin with the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. It'll really help me out and encourage me to make more content similar to this one. Now without further ado, let's dive into the video. Greetings my koopalings! Today I wanted to talk to you about a game series that I've horribly missed out on, The Legend of Zelda. Growing up, my exposure to Zelda was the top-down OG Legend of Zelda. Now growing up for me, if a game wasn't a Super Mario Bros. Or Battletoads, I didn't pay much attention to it. During the early console wars of Sega vs Nintendo, I went down both roads. I had a Sega first and then played games like RoboCop vs Terminator, Sonic, and Power Rangers. Nothing too deep in terms of lore and storytelling. When I had my SNES, I played games like Final Fantasy II, Final Fantasy IV, depending on what number you prefer, and my personal all-time favorite game, Super Mario RPG. I still have my SNES to this date and didn't know Zelda existed beyond the old NES. Fast forward to when I started dating Mrs. Grim Koopa. When we first started dating, she showed me her N64 console that I passed out on because the thumbstick hurt my thumbs, so I got a PlayStation when this generation of games came out. Anyways, when we were dating, she showed me Ocarina of Time and it looked good, but I knew that dreaded thumbstick was still there, so I watched her play it and enjoyed it as a spectator. While we were dating, she also showed me Majora's Mask, and same thing of I did like the creepy atmosphere, but still on the N64, plus that damn creepy moon. After moving in together, we had a Wii, and the only game I remember from this era was Skyward Sword. I remember Mrs. Grimm telling me about the creepy tongue guy, I forget his name here. Again, there was something about this, the controls I didn't care for. Maybe it was the motion controls, but here I didn't care to pick up the controller. Fast forward to the despised Wii U and Hyrule Warriors. Since the game had co-op and you could use the Wii U gamepad as a controller, I decided to play this with the wifey. I enjoyed this game for one reason or another, but this is where my interest in the series slowly began. Maybe it was fighting off mass amounts of enemies at the same time. Maybe it was the merging of various Zelda games and lore into one game. Or maybe it was because I got to play as Ganondorf. Either way, this was the first Zelda title I played beginning to end and enjoyed in various ways. Now let's fast forward to the Nintendo Switch. Now on the Nintendo Switch we have Breath of the Wild, which I'm currently playing on the channel now. When it released, it went into my wife's hands because I knew she'd appreciate it more than I would. Hearing her talk about weapon degradation and stamina were turn-offs for me, so I passed on this game for many years. Now fast forward to summer 2023. I was out with a back injury and stuck on my back for a month, so I needed to pass the time somehow while stuck on my back. While Mrs. Grimm was streaming Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask with you guys, I was digging into our 3DS collection, and here I rediscovered A Link Between Worlds. Watching the missus play Zelda made me want to check out this game that I forgot we had. Good thing we hold on to hard copy. Playing this game reignited my interest in the series, and for some reason I wanted to check out Breath of the Wild, but how do I get around the weapon degradation and stamina issues? Fast forward to this summer and I was able to get my hands on what I needed to play the game in emulation, where I could add a couple mods that I wanted. No weapon degradation and infinite stamina, as well as infinite rupees. In playing the game so far, I enjoy it with a couple cheats I use to play and will complete the game as best I can. Now another game I'm playing on the channel is Ocarina of Time, the 3DS version. Granted, I'm playing it in an emulator. Mrs. Grimm has been enjoying saying I told you so as I've started playing and enjoying the game. Now Nintendo, remake Ocarina of Time for modern hardware. I know there's a fan game remake of the game being worked on now, and if it makes it to completion, I will definitely get a copy and play, and hopefully Nintendo doesn't shut it down in the meantime. So there you have it folks, this is my history with Zelda franchise and the games in it. I've played A Link Between Worlds, Breath of the Wild, and Ocarina of Time, and I have to say I enjoyed Breath of the Wild for now. Ocarina is definitely getting its hooks in me, and it's a hard coin toss between the two. I like Breath of the Wild with its simple third-person gameplay and being able to rotate the camera around me as I play. I know Ocarina has a camera as well, but it's not as fluid as Breath of the Wild. After I make it through these games, I will check out Skyward Sword HD Remake next. In the meantime, what's your favorite Zelda game? Do you have childhood memories of the games I mentioned here? What Zelda game would you recommend for this Koopa to play next? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in Hyrule, my koopalings.